Hey, everybody, and welcome back to another exciting episode of the VOD Squad, the show where we talk about streaming technology. This is episode 272 on 2222. I am Clyde. I am joined by Matthew Ross.
Not the return of the tutu.
Yes. And Jimmy Trammell.
It's a true Tuesday. But it's not on Tuesday. Unfortunate.
Hey, Clyde, and sorry I didn't wear my tutu.
That's okay. I'm wearing mine. So
Too bad it didn't line up yesterday. It would have been the best.
Oh, thank goodness it didn't line up yesterday, because it would have been the worst at a school district. Oh my god.
am I glad?
Hey!
Groundhog's Day.
What's going on, guys?
Hey, how are you guys doing? Sorry I wasn't here last week.
Wait, you weren't here last week?
No, I was at I was at a basketball game. My son is in the pep band, and so since anytime they have a game that's a home game, basically, the pep band's got to be there to play. And so on Wednesdays we're like, okay, tonight we're gonna. That week it was like there's no way out of it. We just had to go.
You got obligations that supersede this. Yeah.
I understand, and I'm probably going to have to do it again one or two more times through the next couple of weeks, because
you're going to get to it pretty soon. It depends how many. Eventually, you're going to have to tell your kid no more pep band. Sorry.
Yeah, no, we might be going to state. Yeah, we're a 2B school, so it's not that it's not that big a deal. But still, that means a long trip for us, because apparently state for us is a trip to Spokane, which is on the other side of the state. So that's fine.
I figured it was going to be in Vancouver, but on the Canadian
that'd be nice.
side.
That's actually fairly close
on the Canadian side of the border.
Oh, no. Yes, there's two Vancouvers.
Yes,
be careful.
Just like there's two Kansas Cities.
Yeah, well, that's all right. Other than that, good show last week, guys. I listened to it. It was good. And no, you cannot blame me for the stories. I just stuck it in there for any good reason, and I wasn't trying to make you upset, Clyde. I'm sorry.
Anyway. Oh, we know they're you seed stories that are going to get my outrage. Once in a while,
I'll find a story that's
it wasn't a bad thing. Those are the things I appreciate, and that's why you put them in there.
Once in a while, I'll see a story. It's like, oh, this will be fun. I'm going to totally enjoy this one. So.
Well, what did you seed this week?
Little story here about Netflix. Apparently now Netflix is letting you to go in through your continue watching row and lets you turn off, the movies that are in your continue watching row. I don't know anything about that.
That deserves way to bury the lead.
It's been a little while for that one.
All I have to say is hallelujah.
Wait a second. This isn't the thing that you've been, ranting about.
It's only been 10 years.
This hasn't been the thing that basically got you on to making this show all together and saying, I need people to rant about things with.
Pretty much. I would say this would be one of the main reasons that this show existed.
This is the thing that we said, like, I don't know, a couple months ago, that if this ever happened, we'd call this feature The Clyde.
I believe that is the case.
That's what I thought.
All right.
I believe this was the original rant of Clyde.
I think I now know what it feels like when someone gets a single piece of legislation through that has like been their pet project forever. I mean, why was this so hard?
You now have accomplished as much as most senators you've accomplished one thing, one of your goals.
I think we need to put up a big sign.
Don't seem to do in their whole career.
If I'd known this was coming, I would have booked an appearance on an aircraft carrier with a mission accomplished sign and
We can
announced
Photoshop
the
that.
end of the VOD Squad because we've done everything I set out to do.
That can be photoshopped pretty easily, quite frankly. I think we can make that happen. Okay, so let's actually talk about the feature just a little bit. Okay. So it's allows you to go into your list, and you have an option to remove a title that you've been watching, which is exactly what you've asked for. So it's just one of the options.
That's all I want.
It's also got a button as soon as you hit remove to undo your remove in case you accidentally press that button. Good job. Apparently, also, if you press the thumbs down button, it also automatically removes it.
Which is nice because when I went and checked on this earlier, I went in with a mission to remove stuff. Everything I wanted to remove was pretty much already gone because years ago I marked them all as thumbs down to please stop recommending this to me. I mean, that's the way it should have been from the beginning. Even if you couldn't manually remove the stuff, there's no reason to recommend someone to continue watching something they marked as I didn't like.
Yeah.
And I mean, the reason that this feature was so important to me is mainly because it disincentivized trying stuff you don't know if you're going to like or not. Because if you watch more than a couple minutes of something, and then you decide, oh, I hate this, it would sit forever in my queue, or in my continue watching list. And so therefore I would when I would see something, I was like, I don't know about that. I'm not willing to take the chance because I don't want to look at it for the next 5 years in the review. But this is awesome. It's about time. Welcome to like a few years ago, Netflix. I mean, even HBO Max launched with this. I mean, you have to go into, it's a little bit more kludgy. You have to go into your settings, choose watch or continue watching, and then you can individually select the shows. But still, I don't care that you can only do it on the web browser because you can do it. And I've watched way more stuff on HBO Max that I thought, oh no, this is terrible. I don't like it, because I was able to go in and remove it. So, thank you. Was it Ted Sarandos? Is that the guy?
The 21st century.
So I'm just curious, when you went into your list and you were trying to, make sure, do that removing, when you entered that list, it just had a little sign there that says, "You're welcome"?
No.
No,
they they're going to spin it like this is something that they came up with out of the blue. And that's fine. I don't need the credit.
Okay.
I just, all I want is the results.
Okay.
So.
Okay. Well, how about this? If you are a business out in the middle of the desert of internet services, which is basically saying that you're out somewhere where all you can get is crappy DSL and not much else, you may have been interested in the idea of getting Starlink. Starlink is the internet service provider using the little mini microsatellites up in the sky, and is be able to much better than the old satellite systems of times of yore. Providing internet services from like 50 megabits to maybe up to 200 megabits per second through that dish. There's a new version of this service that's going to be coming out. This is going to be coming out from them called the premium level. It's designed for businesses. It's got a price for businesses too, $500 a month. But that will get you speeds at or up to 500 megabits. So that's half a gig of speed. And an increased upload speed of up to 40 megabits per second upload. That's what I'm getting here for $500 a month. So,
but you're not paying $500 a month.
No, I am not.
The people that I see using this are wealthy people with boats.
This doesn't really work well when you're moving.
No, it according to them, it will work just fine at sea.
Your boat's big enough it doesn't rock. Sure.
Yeah.
No.
One other cost too. The dish itself costs $2,500.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of feel like this is a little bit of bait and switch because they've been promising us, the like 500 plus speeds are coming.
Yeah.
It's $300 dish, and then you're going to pay $100 a month. The faster speeds are coming, and they just announced the faster speeds. But yeah, you got to go up to $500 bucks a month, which, yeah.
See, I don't see this as a problem. This is them. Obviously, I think the $100 a month version of this is probably makes money, but not a lot for them. I don't think that probably makes them a lot of money. Just imagine troubleshooting the cost of dishes and replacement parts and putting the satellites in space. All that is not cheap. It's cheaper, but it's not that cheap.
No, but as the speeds go up, you get more adoption.
Right.
But they've gone up considerably from the beta, but not to the point where it's you're going to get heavy adoption. Because I right now over my cable, I'm getting up to 1 gigabit for around $100. And yeah,
I could see businesses. First of all, I know businesses used to spend $500 a month easy and lots of money up front to get things like T1s
for a 1.5 symmetrical T1.
Exactly. So this is not out of the
it's not. But
which is where this is aimed for, and this is going to serve people who cannot get anything else. This is going to be huge for a lot of people out there. I think so. I think there's a market for it. I think they could spend it. I know that they said it's coming. Guess what? It's come. It's just more expensive. I'm sorry. And these are the things that are going to pay for everybody else to keep having at least decent prices, because the premium prices pay for the lower tiers to continue being more affordable. That's just how that works. They make their money off of the larger companies. So it's fine in the big picture of it. This is good.
I think this will be the price for a while, but after a while, they're going to drop that price. I'm pretty sure.
I don't think they are. Do you see the price of Tesla cars coming down?
Yeah.
They keep going up as new models come out. Okay. And the old ones don't go down.
Okay, well, that's not totally true, though, because the sales have increased dramatically from Tesla, in large part because they came out with a much less expensive model. Their best-selling product now is the 3 Series, or Series 3 or whatever it is. And that's about a $40,000 car. So that is what allowed them to sell a whole lot of them. And I think that what Jimmy is saying is kind of where I was leaning as well. Initially, I expect it'll be, maybe some businesses, wealthy people that have their, their condo out in Telluride or whatever, and people on boats that need to, that want to have high-speed internet on their yacht or whatever. But long term, as usually what happens, they'll start to reduce price to get better adoption. Because there's a point where you have to increase, in order to increase profitability, you have to increase adoption. And sometimes the only way to do that is to reduce your price. But if you can...
Well, see, the thing is, what we're talking about here, I mean, this service is a technology, right? The technology cost goes down over time to where like a car, there's labor involved, right? So that's the reason why the prices stay constant and even go up in a product like a car.
Well, I mean, this has labor involved. There's the labor of loading the spaceship and getting the satellites physically into orbit.
That's just a fixed cost, right?
It's their version of laying cable. But
it's a fixed cost. But the thing is, the cost to deliver that technology goes down over time.
It does. All I got to say is if you're going to charge $2,500 for this antenna, you better figure out your cat problem.
I'm with Matt on this too, though, right? Is that, yeah, that's true. I did read that article. I got the reference there, Clyde.
Yeah.
But I think I'm with Matt on this. It's I think it's fine for now, and he's right. There are businesses that maybe doesn't have another option.
And
of course they're going to go for it.
From a business standpoint, yeah, that business internet usually has better SLAs. It has other things that, contribute to the price.
I'm sure if you're paying $500 a month, you're going to have a support line that people pick up right away, right? And all that.
Yeah. My concern is that they're going to leave, that they're not going to push the speeds on the lower tier, on the regular consumer $100 one, and it's going to be stuck at 10 to 20 megabits. And that's where I get to the bait and switch, because from the beginning they've been promising us up to a gigabit via satellite, and they've been selling us on this one package, which insinuates that this one package is going to be there soon. But then they came out with oh no, if you want 500, you got to get this package. That's where so as long as they keep bringing up the speeds on a regular basis on the regular consumer version, awesome. But if they cap it at some point and say, no, if you want faster speeds, then you have to go to this $500 a month, then that's where a lot of people are going to be angry, because they signed up early, they pre-ordered, they put their money down on an unproven thing because they were promised this 500 and above. But
I agree
that's
with
it.
I think it's just going to be a matter of timing, right? I think the prices will come down. What's going to be the timing on that? I don't know. Hard to say, but yeah, ultimately you're right, Clyde. If they just keep the prices up there like that, who's going to go with them? Especially with the expansion of 5G, wireless. That too is going to be competing with services like this.
Hey guys, I got a question for you. Do you like Spotify?
That is a difficult question.
Well, let me ask you a question. Do you like Spotify? Then you wish, you really wish it was super focused on a single band. It was maybe your favorite band out there was, I don't know, Weezer. You just wish you could I wish there was a Spotify for Weezer.
What would you call it? Weezify?
Sure, we'll call it that. Hey guys, we've got a new streaming service called Weezify. That's right. You can get onto your Apple device or Google device a new app called Weezify. It was actually created by one of the band members,
by Rivers Cuomo. Yeah,
Rivers Cuomo. He literally spent part of his pandemic time creating this app, and it is a Spotify style app, but only with Weezer music and pre-Weezer music that he has,
just for his Weezer demos.
Yeah. So it's got apparently 3,500 demos in there in total of stuff from 1975 all the way to 2017. It's a free app, but in-app purchases, we took a peek. It's around $9 for albums within the system. But yeah, there you go. Go in and listen to all the Weezer you want, because that's awesome. When do you guys think this becomes a trend and everybody has their own app?
I'm surprised that everybody had their own app for a while. It was called MySpace and Bandcamp.
This is awesome. I think this is one of the coolest things that I've seen come from a band in recent memory. Just because it's a service that lets them, that he made himself, the band made it themselves, or he did, and just releasing all the music on there. I just think it's absolutely brilliant. Yeah, it's great.
There are Weezer fans out there that are going to eat this up. He's going to make lots of money for this. You know, that's just true. If you got something to serve your fans, they're going to usually be willing to pay something for it. So cool. It's awesome. Also, nice flex on the app, dude.
What do you do with somebody who spends his life playing in front of other people when he can't go out and see other people? Well, most of them I don't seem to have accomplished much, but Weezer is a little different. So good on you.
Okay, so apparently there was this big question going on between Fox and Hulu of whether or not there would be a sharing of the various non-scripted shows on that platform. You know, the non-scripted shows like The Masked Singer and Name That Tune and Masked Dancer. I mean, what is with these? All these are all like game show style things. I don't know. Anyways, these various shows have been had a nice place on the Hulu platform, and they've also been able to be on the Tubi platform, which is owned by Fox. Well, it looks like there's been an agreement to extend this agreement for I don't know how long, but it is being extended for the foreseeable future, so that they will continue to be living on both platforms. Basically, nothing's changing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, this has been a question ever since Disney acquired so much of the Hulu partners
and Fox in particular.
Well, I mean,
that's right. This is not the part of Fox that Disney owns, is it?
I don't know. No, I think it is.
Right. No,
because Disney got the Fox TV stuff, but they didn't get the news and the sports.
Okay. So this is part of the TV.
So this would be part of the Disney. But there was the question of what's going to happen to Hulu. Are they going to pull everything off of Hulu eventually? And this is just a recommitment that's saying, no, this stuff is still there, and we're still going to share it with the other platform, Tubi.
Cool. Yeah, well, quite frankly, I don't want to see Hulu change. I don't want the Fox shows to come off Hulu. I enjoy. Oh, I'm not the one who watches. I have people in the house who really love watching shows that came through Fox, and so just having it on that platform is extremely nice versus me having to get entire seasons of it onto my Plex server, which is not what I want to do. So it's good with me.
Yeah.
Okay, so looks like the FCC is going to try to make labels, I don't understand how this works, labels mandatory on various broadband services. The idea is that they're going to make it a requirement that there be certain things said about the broadband, things like what the maximum speed is going to be, or the expected speed is going to be, the upload speed is expected to be, if there's going to be any kind of bandwidth limiting and rate limiting, if there's bandwidth caps, any of that information is supposed to be clearly labeled upon any internet service that's going to be coming through. The FCC is looking at this idea as a requirement for internet services in the United States, which is fine, I guess.
And, on the surface, it sounds like, hey, great, this is awesome. But as anybody that knows anything about government bureaucracies and these rules, they typically make things worse. You may set out to make it better, but I doubt it. I think it's going to end up being more confusing now. Or create some weird loopholes.
My concern would be, so I think that the thing from my perspective is this kind of becomes, this kind of regulation feels fairly useful and important in the context of a utility-like structure that gives basically monopolies to in ISPs in certain areas. So if you only have the option for 2 ISPs and in your area they're providing really crappy service, or one of them is, this should make it easier to see which one is doing things that you wouldn't want to be paying for and having happen. So that should improve the service in areas where there's competition. In areas where there's no competition at all, it won't make any difference except for potentially spurring somebody to come in and compete.
Yeah.
If the company would be like, if it's like AT&T and there's obviously bad behaviors, but I follow where you're coming from. I generally am don't let the government get in and muddy the waters, but when you're dealing with monopoly like scenarios, which you are with ISPs, requiring them to provide specific information like whether or not they're going to throttle you after you reach a certain amount. Most of them will tell you now, but they're not legally bound to. And so they may be doing stuff that they're not telling you about out of policy. And I think that I agree, they should be telling you.
Yeah, I'm not saying that there's anything wrong with it. I'm just saying that these things rarely go the way they claim they're going to go. Perfect example is when the government mandated that all the tobacco companies pay for and produce anti-smoking and vaping ads, which ended up just being commercials for those products. Hey, you shouldn't smoke Camel cigarettes because Camel cigarettes don't make you look cool, even if people say they do. Camel cigarettes, they're bad for you. Wait till you're 18, which ends up just getting, it ended up working. Those things work as an advertisement because when the person is like, oh, you know what, I'm going to do this. What's in their head? That brand that was beat over them in that specific brand in the anti-ad, you're
right, except for eventually they figured out that that's what was still causing it to work. And since then they've changed it to truth.org. The whole smoking is disgusting kind of.
But no. The truth.org, they everyone that I've seen lately specifies a specific brand.
Really, I've not seen anything lately that
it was what was the
and apparently it's working because actually smoking at young ages is way down, but that's besides the point.
Yeah, but
vaping
but I mean that's what I was talking about is the vaping one. But that was just an example of one thing where it was meant to do a thing, and on the surface when they said we're going to make these ads and the company's going to pay for it, you think, okay, great. But then it rarely ever goes the way that you expect it to. So,
well, I think in this case, right, what they're saying is, I mean, this information is already available. It's in the fine print. So I think what the FCC is saying, they just want to take it out of the fine print and put it more up front.
Yeah.
Right? I think that's what they're saying.
Yeah, right? I'm just saying that's the intent. And that's great.
There's always unintended consequences.
But there's going to be unintended consequences. They're going to find a way to spin things because there's always a loophole.
Clyde, you're right. This is going to cause something somewhere to be not done the way the FCC think it's going to go.
And I think it's going to go completely sideways. That's all.
Also, you're right. Competition would be the best thing here. And it would, my opinion, FCC should do things like, okay, we know that you have the infrastructure, but you have to let other people use your stuff. But, that's, kind of anti-competitive. I don't, people don't like that kind of stuff either. Whatever. I think that we need to make it so it's much easier to compete. We need more than oligopolies. Kind of that's government's fault, probably, if you think about it. Anyways, yes, the real solution to all of everybody's internet woes would be if you had your choice of about 7 different options that are all comparable, and they could themselves say, we get 50 megabits faster than the competition, which would be an amazing sale.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that would be awesome. But until then, it could be good or better than nothing. We'll see. Hey, you know what? I sometimes really want to sing while I'm driving. And I don't care if I sing badly. You guys know that? Ever been driving down the road and just crooning a song and you don't care who's listening because nobody's there except for maybe somebody else in the car who you don't care if they
Are
hear
your window in this
singing.
scenario, are your windows up or down? And are you sitting at a red light where sound does carry?
It's kind of like in a car with a video screen in the deck.
Oh.
The parking brake has to be on for the
No.
video to work. The windows have to be rolled up in order for the microphones to work.
Really? Is that true? All right. This is Tesla. Tesla's actually producing a cool new in your car Tesla karaoke thing. It's actually a microphone you can buy. It's only in China for now, but I doubt it'll stay there. It's gonna let you sing to your favorite songs with a nice karaoke display going on. It looks like, according to the advertisement, more than one will work while you're in there. And so you can, while you're taking a break from whatever you're driving to, maybe while you're charging your car, you can sing that favorite love duet with your bestie. It's going to be great.
You know, this has been a thing for a while. There have been systems out there. I remember there was like it was commonly used by employed by Uber drivers in like places like Vegas, where it'd be like, hey, come use us and you can do the singing party in the car or whatever. This picture is what scares me, though. You've got the driver holding a microphone, looking at the screen when he should be looking at the freaking road.
He's technically parked, but it can't tell him that picture.
But still, it's the precedent. And also, yeah, I don't think this is something that you want even passengers doing in the car while you're trying to drive. Especially.
I think this makes a lot of sense once you get to level 5 autonomous vehicles that don't require human interaction, right? At that point,
so do bars.
You need things like this. What?
Drink on the way.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I don't know about that. I think it's great they're thinking ahead to when you don't have to be paying attention to the vehicle. But as things are now, you still need to be driving-ish the vehicle. So
yeah,
it's probably a bad idea for the moment.
I'm not saying it's a bad idea altogether. I put this in the same boat as them playing movies. We talked about a couple months ago where Tesla was, adding the ability to watch movies while you're driving on the main screen.
Yeah,
I think this is along there, and driver distraction potential is high. But
I mean, the thing that I see about this is obviously you're in a car. There's no reason to have a microphone unless you've got it set up so that it feeds video of you in the car and the audio of you in the car singing to some sort of streaming solution. And so this is the next big thing for streaming is music covers while driving.
I had you can already do this like you're talking about. I had a multi-hour conversation with Wabbit Magic one January as I was driving 120 miles an hour through the desert. I connected to Discord voice chat on my phone that was connected to the car via Android Auto.
But you've got to have the video.
But I could have turned on video if I wanted to, but it was the middle of the night and there wouldn't have been any video worth sending.
So other features that need to be added is professional video lighting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. You get a ring light, and you probably have to do some ambient lighting.
God, a ring
and
light in the car? No.
You also need scenes so that you can switch depending on what you're doing. If it's a, and somebody's got to go through and manually categorize the different songs so that if it's like a love song, or like soft rock, it goes to something. But then if it's like driving metal, then there's like flashing lights and stuff.
If they polarize the glass correctly, they could actually make the glass be almost green screen like. So then you could be driving in space or wherever you want. It could change the window scenes to.
Are you saying that this is the feature that's going to bring back the green interiors that have been gone since the 70s?
No reason not to go for it.
Many reasons not to.
Carpool space karaoke.
Yeah, that's carpool karaoke in space. Okay, so I just really briefly want to bring up why I brought up bars in the cars, because there is a tradition in Japanese people, and I suspect it's also true with Chinese people, that you would go out to the karaoke bar after the work with your boss, get a little sloshed, you and your boss would sing a silly song, and thus you would have camaraderie with your boss, because you would meet up with him after work and you would drink and sing songs together, and then you could go home and come to work the next day and feel good about you and your workmates and your bosses. So I was wondering, well, this is obviously karaoke in the car. When is it you're going to be able to have the karaoke party in your car, and the mini bar opens up, because it's automated driving at level 5 automated driving. Might as well at this point let it happen. Nobody's driving, right? Everybody's got a designated driver. It's the car.
I just realized. Okay, no, I now get this. I understand what this is for. There's been a lot of criticism about the inability to drive long distances, especially through areas where there aren't necessarily superchargers strategically located, and you may have to go to an off. So it's up to Tesla to find a way to distract the drivers while they're stuck for an hour waiting in a town trying to recharge where they otherwise would have been in and out in like 10 minutes. So this is while this is something you do while you're waiting for your car to be able to go another 200 miles.
That's it.
Yeah, perhaps. Sounds.
Hey, it's only $188
pretty
a mic.
Awful, but that's
a mic.
Well, the kit apparently includes other stuff too, but one kit. I don't know if it includes two mics in the kit or not, but it's $188 for the kit. So. Hey, FCC wants to do more regulation. This time, more rural broadband stuff. They wanted to have a accountability program, which will make sure that those rural broadband funds are actually going to rural broadband. Which I sure hope that's where it's going, because the rural broadband is needed in rural communities. I know this, so.
Maybe that's the reason why Starlink is $500 now.
Well, I was going to say they have to account for it, because now that money's not going to this, because all those rural people that are fed up have bought Starlink.
So truthfully, the last rural broadband thing that happened was a lot of that money didn't get out there. Essentially, it stayed barely went anywhere outside the larger communities. And so this last stimulus package included a money for rural broadband, and this time the FCC is looking to increase the number of audits in order to make sure that money is actually being spent in the right places. So this is another heart in the right place, but will it actually do anything? We'll see. But if you're out in the middle of nowhere and you were hoping that this would help you, I don't know, check this out. See if it actually helps.
I mean,
good.
my concern with this is that the cost of these additional audits is going to be more than the cost of all of the money they're giving to rural broadband in the first place.
Well, I mean, the one sentence here that kind of gets my attention here in the article, where it says the FCC says funding ways will see 23 broadband providers bringing internet service to more than 1 million locations across 32 states.
Yeah.
I mean, if that's true and they need to double the audits to do it, okay, great, right? But I don't know. I'm very skeptic if that's actually going to come to be.
The thing that stuck out to me was the quote that the previous program was poised to fund broadband to parking lots and well-served urban areas, which further illustrates my earlier point that even the most well-meaning things from the government rarely work out the way they claim. So,
well, that's what happens when you give private.
Oh no, absolutely, but
free from the government, they find ways to
absorb those funds.
Basically absorb that into making themselves more money.
And that's just because, and that's usually due to short-sightedness from the program side that doesn't spell out exactly, something creates loopholes. There's always loopholes that people are able to exploit, and whatever. I'm all for sending less of the rural broadband funding to parking lots.
Well, what do you think about HBO sending their signal for HBO Max to more European countries? What do you think about that? On March 8th, they're going to be sending that to 15 more. And so that'll be a total of 61 territories that are going to be getting access to the streaming service. I can't believe the Czech Republic didn't have it yet, but they're finally going to get it. So them and the Netherlands, Poland, they didn't have this yet. Romania. Oh man,
they may have had HBO. They didn't have HBO Max.
Oh, okay, that's fair. That's you're missing out when you don't have the Max. Just letting you know, you'll like it.
Yeah. I'd say maybe Ukraine will get it just in time.
No, they won't.
For Russia to come in and be like, nope,
take it away.
Yep.
Ukraine isn't on the list, though, is it?
No, that's why I said maybe I put a maybe they'll get it.
Okay. I was going to say they're not on the list because there's no point. It's just going to be Russia in a couple of months.
Probably.
Sorry. Oh,
you're
in me.
Not necessarily wrong.
Yes. Anyways, I mean, I guess if you're in one of those European countries, but when did we start paying attention to other countries?
We have almost always reported the expansion of services to other countries, mostly just so you know, it's still going out there. Oh. And so the world is expanding. We are happy to have viewers from the Czech Republic. That'd be great.
Yeah. I'm remembering now that we're not. I don't know.
I mean, we're big in Slovenia.
We are thinking we were for a moment, but okay. So we're not jerks. I forgot that. Sometimes that just slips out of my mind, and I'm like, oh, who cares about those non-US places? No, but we do. I think it's pretty cool. I've always wanted to go to Montenegro. Now I can watch HBO Max while I'm there.
Absolutely. That's great.
As a shareholder, I'm glad to see the expansion.
Excellent.
That's right.
More money for you. Excellent. All right.
You forgot to disclose your biases at the beginning of the show, Jimmy.
No. Hold on. You don't have to, because the whole premise of this show is biases.
Yeah.
We're not journalists. We don't have to maintain any integrity.
That's fair.
Full disclosure, we are biased.
If we have to set bias aside, I'm sorry, I can't do this show anymore.
Full disclosure, everything we're doing is for our own interests.
Oh, what about YouTube? Do they do things for their own interests? Yes, they do. That one thing they're doing is to have a new interface on your mobile devices, your Android and iOS, are getting a new update where you can have an easier access to the various controls, easy access to the chat section and to comment section with a single click of the button. You don't have to go into portrait mode to get into the chat anymore. You can just bring it up on the screen. This is coming out for a newer interface. I feel like they do this every year or two. Don't they?
It's been every couple weeks lately. Because they just redid the whole chat thing like a month ago.
Really? Oh, well, okay. Maybe this is the same thing. I don't know. Anyways, it is a new interface that's coming to your YouTube mobile experience. I have not seen it yet. I will probably comment more if and when I see it myself. And the last story of the evening is a story that's like a month old.
Yeah, January 5th. How did we miss this?
I don't know, but
this is like super important in my regard.
Motorola has introduced the MA1. It's a dongle that connects to your car. This dongle is USB powered and connects. I'm guessing it does like Bluetooth.
You connect it. Yeah, you connect it to the USB input because most cars have Android Auto built in, and it uses the USB port.
And what this will do is allow you to use Android Auto wirelessly.
Yes, because they introduced last year. Android introduced the Android Auto wireless, so you didn't have to plug your phone in physically anymore. But that's only available on newer radios, newer cars. Not even. I mean, there are even newer cars that are coming out that don't have the wireless feature built in. And I've been asking for some sort of adapter because this has been a big problem. I use Android Auto every time I'm in the car. Good.
Well, it's the very end of the story. This story that we have posted here was from January 5th, but they say they have a correction. It was not available on January 5th. It became available on January 30th, which is that makes it a current story, dude. This is not old news.
Okay, news. So great.
It's available now.
See, the thing that alerted me to this was there was a story today that this went on sale on Amazon today and immediately sold out. And I was mad because, wait, why didn't I hear about this? Why couldn't I have pre-ordered it? And the reason this is so important is you have to physically plug your phone in every time. That has become a flaw because of USB-C. Anybody that has had a phone with USB-C knows that connection goes bad very fast when you use it on a daily basis. It gets to the point where my phone is sitting there, I'll hit a bump and it'll just disconnect. And you have to wiggle it, and then I eventually have to replace the cable. You know, I've got USB micro cables I've been using for 10, 15 years, but I keep having to replace USB-C cables because you connect them over and over and over multiple times a day, they get finicky. So this eliminates that.
Clyde, you always have the weirdest problems with things that I always never have problems with.
But I'm also using them in ways that you're not.
Probably. Are you like swinging it around by the cable?
No, I've got my little clicky, my windshield mounted thing that I plug the phone in. You set it up there. And you can ask my daughter about it. It's like, well, driving and all of a sudden Android Auto will disconnect.
So let me ask this question about this device. This thing's not going to hang from your dash, is it?
It would depend on your car where the USB port is. Mine, the USB port is down at the bottom of the dash, right above the cubby. So I could put a piece of like Velcro and fold it up underneath.
Okay, so that would work out okay.
It's really going to depend on your car. Some people have it in the glove box, in the center console. It depends.
Also, apparently, this does require Android Auto to already be on your car, just the wired version.
Yes, and which I have. I just don't have the wireless version. I needed a wireless.
So all this does is make it the wireless compatible.
Yes. If you don't have it, then you might want to look at that terrible thing from last week.
So it's more or less for older
remember
cars, right?
What's that?
It's more or less for older cars, right? Because I think the newer cars do come with it wireless.
Well, that's what I was saying. Not it's not necessarily all in new cars. Most new cars come with Android Auto, but a lot of them are still coming with the
Wired
earlier version that requires a wired connection.
Right.
Okay.
Because they either don't have the wireless functionality built into the car, or they just didn't put the right version of software. So
Yep. All right. Well, this would be good for like my wife's car, except for my wife has an iPhone, and I'm the only one with an Android phone.
Well,
so it would be good for me in her car.
Yeah, I was gonna say it doesn't matter.
That doesn't help her. No, since I don't drive that car that much, it doesn't help me at all. So.
But you get this device, and then it's still going to connect to your phone, right?
Not on CarPlay.
Not on Apple CarPlay, just Android Auto.
Yeah, but I mean, if you plug this into your USB port right on your car, it should connect to
My car does not have Android Auto built into it.
Yeah,
so
he was
it
saying
would
in
not
his
help.
wife's car where she only uses iPhone, it would only serve
Help
him
me.
when he's using it.
It would piss her off, quite frankly.
And she
It's
would,
like,
yeah,
"Grr."
because she would have to physically unplug it every time she
get
drives
hers
the
in.
car
Yeah.
to plug
Oh, I
her
see.
phone in.
I see.
All righty. Well,
That is it.
you know, that brings us to the point in the show where we like to point out things that don't piss us off. And that is the people that support us on Patreon. These people are awesome.
I was gonna say sleep. That doesn't piss me off when I'm sleepy and I want to sleep.
It
Food,
depends.
Good food. That's
It depends what I missed because I was sleeping.
Oh, okay, that's fair.
You know, food. It depends when, you know.
I guess there is bad food that can piss you off.
Yeah, especially when it's a place you've been looking forward to,
and you pay too much for.
and yeah,
Oh, that could piss you off. Oh man, I'd be so pissed off.
I know. But the thing
Man.
that will never piss us off is the patrons. You guys are awesome. We thank you for your support. If you would like to support this biased show that has no qualms about hiding that, this is, you know, you can call it propaganda, whatever. That's fine. But
Well, were we going to try to mark ourselves as reliable news source? No.
Nope. And that's the you know, and that's what sets us apart from all other media outlets. They sell you a bill of goods.
We don't.
We've got our everything's clear and upfront right from the beginning. So head on over to patreon.com/the VOD Squad, and you too can become a supporter.
Yeah.
Alrighty, rants, raves. What do we got?
Okay, I got a bit of a long story.
Uh-oh.
It's okay. It's a technology thing. It's whatever. It's not a big deal to most people. But for me, I need to rant a little bit.
Okay.
First of all, I'm a budget gamer. I like playing my games, but I don't like spending a lot of money on my games. So I tend to, when I buy a computer, spend easily $100 per component, maybe up to $200 per component. I don't like going over that usually for what I mean. So I usually get good mid-grade stuff.
Sure.
So it's fine. So I've got my computer that I purchased a couple years ago. It's a Radeon 1500X. Was a really good deal for that, and the board. Also, I have a family of computers that do a lot of hand-me-downs. So my son's computer gets my old components, and my wife's computer gets her own components, and we hand-me-down between each other, try to make the best things for everybody constantly. But my computer has the best video card. It's an RX 480, and I bought that for $200 just before prices went bonkers on for everything. This card now sells for like $700 or something like that. It's ridiculous. I don't
And
know
for
why.
your rant was that you have this thing. Your rave is that you're selling it for a whole lot of money.
No, my so I had an idea. I just was like, okay, man, we've been streaming Stadia and things like that all the time, right? And it's been working out real good. I'm thinking to myself, man, I really should be streaming in my house from my good machine to wherever other computer I want to stream to. You know, I should probably do that. So I had this idea. I will make this box really awesome, put in this spare room here, which, you know, when I'm not in here, it could be loud and the fans can go whirring loud, and I could play my game in the other room. My test box was actually this machine they're on right now, which is this laptop that's got an NVIDIA card in it. My test with it been working really good. So I was like, okay, cool. I decide what I'm going to do is I'm going to buy this little guy. This is a refurbished Elite desk from HP.
Okay.
And it's a little tiny.
Yeah,
it's actually kind of.
That's a super small form factor.
Yeah,
is what they would call
it's kind of. This is one's kind of crap because it's got an AMD A10 chip in it, which is kind of like
That's the APU, right?
Yeah, they're like not good. But that APU has an actually decent graphics card in it, which is actually what I need, because I need something that it does H.265. It does H.265 decompression,
Gotcha.
and I don't need to encode anything. I need to decode things to this guy, and so I got this guy, and it's refurbished. And it was considered. Well, it was funny because I was like, grade B. I wonder what grade B stands for. So I happen to have some pictures I shared with Clyde. It was a smoker's machine, obviously, because it was just covered with yucky
Yeah,
stuff
I was going to say, did this come from a smoker?
Yeah, obviously. I don't think it was a nicotine smoker, like your standard smoker, because it didn't smell like that nicotine. It actually smelled clean of some kind, maybe a pipe.
You know what? Then this may have been in like a warehouse.
Maybe.
I see this a lot in our distribution facility with my Cisco switches.
Well, here's the thing. Here's the certificates of authenticity it came from. It came from IBM. These are IBM certificates of no warranty, disclaimer warranty, and certified component testing that they actually I sent to the box. Like,
well,
cool.
They were just the company that did the refurbishment and verified that it was functional. They weren't the ones that were running it.
I don't know. Owner, manager, and engineering department.
Maybe.
So I think this is actually IBM stuff, but
maybe
it cleaned up nice. I redid I took off the heatsink and redid putting the thermal paste on it and tried to make it as clean. So it actually cleaned up real nice. And I got at this, and I put the machine in this other room, and I hooked it up to my big screen TV so we can play games in here on it if we want to, or I can play remotely from my other room with the quiet little guy. And it sucked ass.
Did you replace that terrible spinning drive?
Oh yeah, that I put an SSD.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So this thing just boots up. It's actually, other than like initial loading of programs, this thing graphically is fine. It's got a display port on the back, which is exactly it. This thing does the AMD variable sync disk technology, the same thing as my monitor does on my desk. So it's actually pretty awesome what this thing can do graphically. So I'm fine with that. Loading is a little slow loading. I'm using Parsec to connect between my machines within the house. And my initial testing was great. On the laptop has a built-in 1060 from NVIDIA. That RX 480 sucks. And it's the best card I have in the house. So I did all this work in order for me to have this one machine that I could be a little on vacation somewhere. I'm like, hey, I want to do some light gaming, maybe play some World of Warcraft. Doesn't need anything. This thing sucks. Now I need a graphics card. The whole point was to not need a graphics card because they're stupid expensive. So I'm a little pissed at the situation. Because now I either have to just suck it up, deal with it, and whatever. I could play off of the laptop. The laptop can play just fine. I just didn't want the laptop to do this job, and that's not the point of it. The point of it is to be the streaming machine. But now I have to buy a stinking expensive graphics card, and graphics cards are the worst thing right now.
Well, and it's not like you
worst.
can just throw a graphics card into that little device.
Yeah, this thing. Well, the graphics card built into this is an R7.
Yeah, but it's
so
the mobile, basically
it's
mobile.
Okay.
Yeah,
but it's not a good gaming machine at all.
No.
So I will continue to figure this out. This is my project. It's what I've been doing. I've got the laptop now plugged in with my capture card, and I can actually capture what's on the big screen TV, but that builds in latency, so I couldn't play off of that.
Yeah,
I've got ideas. I just really, to do what I want to, I need to get myself something in the area of a 1060 at least, which is $300 for one of those, or go up from there, which is ridiculous.
See, I buy a lot of those refurbished old work computers.
They're great,
but I don't buy those for my primary. I buy them for special use. Like, hey, I need something in the garage that's gonna see sub-zero temperatures, and I'm gonna use it to stream music primarily. Or there was one point I built a digital basically a jukebox. So I buy those things for like purpose built or purpose driven projects. I have a small form factor HP or Dell or whatever that I like because it's small enough that when I'm traveling, I can throw it into a bag. Mm-hmm. Like when we went to Turtle Days, I needed a computer that went with me that wasn't my laptop to run Discord and do stuff. I just threw that in a bag. I wouldn't game with it, but it's fine for browsing the internet and connecting to Discord, you know?
Yeah.
And I think I paid like $150 for it. So it's just like,
this is similar in how it's going to be fine for doing simple things, but I'm just,
it's frustrating.
This whole process was to try to make my life and everybody's life. My son wants to play a game on I would just let him connect to the gaming server in the house. That's the idea. And he's just I got all these games on Steam. I got all these games on
load that thing up, use it as a console. You can load it up with the standalone version of MAME.
Oh yeah.
And that thing would be great.
True. Yeah.
Build yourself an arcade cabinet, throw it inside.
Yeah, it's okay. I'm just I guess I'm just sad that this is where it's at with this. So that was my rant. I apologize for boring anybody.
Yeah. All right. Who's next?
Me.
Nobody?
Right. Yeah, I'll go next. So, on Netflix, I was watching Cobra Kai. So I finished the last season, or the current season of Cobra Kai, and it was pretty good. I've kind of enjoyed Cobra Kai throughout all the seasons, but every once in a while when you're watching that show, that there'll be like there's always kind of like that one scene, or maybe a couple of scenes or whatever in maybe an episode or two, where you kind of, and maybe it's just my age, right? And you kind of like, man, this is kind of like almost kind of like a kid's show, isn't it? or something. And it's because it's got a lot of high school students in the show, right? But overall, I enjoyed it and like it. Apparently there's going to be another season. If you watch it, you'll see what I mean. But did enjoy that. But what I really wanted to talk about was Boba Fett. Right? It's really getting good now.
Oh, it is. Yes. That's good, because I heard the opposite.
Yeah, it's getting good now. The last couple of episodes is really, and I can understand people, especially the first episode, people, maybe it was a little slow. They have to kind of set things up, right, and that kind of thing. Even the second episode too, kind of still setting things up. But now I think it's up to the sixth episode, and the fifth and sixth episode especially, and even the one or two before that too was, I mean, it's just kind of like steadily getting good. And I like the direction that it's going in now, right? The sixth episode that I just recently, just last night, I believe it was, I watched. Oh man, it's really good, right? Really enjoying this, and naturally, if you're a Star Wars fan, you're definitely going to like it, and if you're just a science fiction fan in general, I think you'll like it as well. Is it starting? If I do the all 6 episodes that's out so far, no, it's not going to be up there even with The Mandalorian, but the last 2 or 3 episodes, it's getting up there with The Mandalorian, I think now, right? So if you, Mike, I don't know if you've watched this yet or not. Up to the 6th episode. If you haven't, you should, right? You should watch it. But if you're a Star Wars fan or a science fiction fan and you are subscribed to Disney Plus, I recommend Boba Fett.
Yep. We are still on episode 3, so we've been liking it. It's gotten better progressively. I enjoyed the first episode, but I agree it was a little slow, and if you didn't have a big passion for Star Wars, you probably didn't make it through that episode or didn't feel a need to see the second episode. But I think each episode has gotten progressively better thus far. We have a snow day tomorrow, so it'll be our catch-up chance, assuming that the power doesn't go out as well.
Yeah, definitely do that, and maybe next week you can let us know what you thought of it.
Absolutely.
All right.
So for me, I don't know. I don't have anything to rant or rave about. I have a new job. That's
what you do.
I accepted a job offer, so I will be gainfully employed in 2 weeks. They start on the 14th. So expect to start seeing me falling asleep in episodes again. I'm just kidding.
Can I make a request for your first day of work?
Okay.
You need you need a white suit jacket and a black string tie.
Like, what am I dressing up as, Michael Jackson?
No. Hold on.
I know where you're going.
I
can see it right now.
I noticed it with the glasses and the
facial hair.
Yep. A very young Colonel Sanders.
Oh.
He's got it.
I was gonna say my hair's not that white yet.
No. I was gonna say, like, look at Norm Macdonald's Colonel Sanders.
Yesterday, like the hair on my chin was really hurting, like the skin, I'm sure you guys have gotten there where the skin just hurts. And so anything that brushed my beard hurt. And so it was only down here though. So I shaved that off, and then I was like, what the hell? Let's just do something weird. So I did this. It's probably going to go away in the next few days. But yeah, now maybe it won't. Now I start wearing a little black.
The 14th is Valentine's Day, right?
Tie. What?
Isn't the 14th Valentine's Day? So you're coming back on Valentine's Day?
Yeah, I start working on Valentine's Day.
Perfect.
Yeah, I definitely. I may just become Colonel Sanders now that
just make sure you buy a bucket for lunch, and then you're good.
The Colonel.
Nice.
All right.
Clyde, what do you got?
I was trying to think about that. I've watched a few things, nothing really notable, but I keep finding myself ranting about Did you guys know that there's a Nancy Drew TV show on the CW?
I've
Apparently,
heard that
they
there is.
started the third season.
Mm-hmm.
It's a remake, right? I mean, or
Well,
a revamp.
Yeah,
whatever you wanna
it's
call it,
there.
right.
Yeah, there really hasn't been anything notable from Nancy Drew outside of the books. I think there was a Nancy Drew and Hardy Boys TV show in the 70s that
Ooh.
didn't
I
go on.
remember that.
So I watched the last summer, I think it was. I watched the Hardy Boys show on Hulu, which was pretty decent. And I saw Nancy Drew on HBO Max, and I went, okay, you know. I read a couple of the Nancy Drew books when I was a kid, not really enough to get into, because Trixie Belden was like far superior. But I checked it out. Single note to the CW, Nancy Drew's a detective, not a ghost whisperer. It started out, the show started out okay. It was kind of gritty, and it was like, yeah, definitely they're not teenagers. They're young 20-somethings, 19, 20. So, you know, through the first season, all of a sudden it just became a ghost show. And then with the main character making terrible decisions that basically compound on the previous terrible decisions that, and yeah, I started on the second season this week, and I don't think I can watch anymore. It's just getting terrible.
Is this a Netflix one?
No, it's a CW show.
See, that's too bad, because then you could just remove it from your.
Oh, I can. It's HBO Max. I could already do that.
Yeah.
I was just saying that the show started out with promise.
Yeah.
But, you know, she's supposed to be a detective, but not like, yeah, it's this whole, I don't know. It's stuff that even Stranger Things would be like, that's a little too crazy. Yeah. I think I'm even beyond hate watching it at this point. So,
No, you're really bad if Clyde won't even hate watch you.
yeah. I'm waiting for the new season of the Hardy Boys to come. You know, it's decent. So I guess go check out the Hardy Boys on Hulu. It was a decent show. Not great, but it was decent.
Okay.
I'd say up there with like Lock and Key. Very similar tonally. Alrighty, well, on that note, I just want to say thank you to everybody that hanging out with us tonight. And reminder, if you would rather get this as an audio podcast, you can. Everybody else is leaving Spotify, but we're still there.
We'll stay as long.
Neil Young, Joni Mitchell, I say good riddance. The VOD Squad, we're still on Spotify. Yes, we're on Spotify. And we're everywhere that you can get a audio podcast. If you would like that audio podcast much sooner, become a patron. They get the audio version within hours of this show ending. But also the best way, come here live, and then you get to participate in the chat. You get to submit titles when YouTube doesn't change their stuff in the background and break Showbot.
Is that what happened?
I assume it happened before, but and YouTube's not really set up to work with it. We, BioCow and I worked with him to find a way to make it work in YouTube, and apparently something broke it. So we'll get that fixed for next week. But yeah, join us live here on YouTube every Wednesday night, 9 p.m. Central. And then you get to hang out in the post show where we talk about random stuff that doesn't matter. or might matter. But if you're not here, you never know.
Mhm.
All right. Okay, thanks everybody. We'll catch y'all later.
Absolutely.
Bye.
Good night.
Diamond Club hopes you have enjoyed this program.